Hello everyone, TAC1421 here with another episode of Mega Moveset. Today we're going to be covering a Mega Pidgeot. Pidgeot got a Mega Evolution, and it's just another bird. It kind of got some cool little feathers and stuff, and I don't know. I think the Mega kind of looks cool, but I don't really care about Pidgeot too much, but I do want to cover it in this Mega Moveset series because I think it is still kind of a little bit interesting. It has a cool ability, it has potential to have some cool moves, but it just doesn't have the move pool that I was hoping, and it didn't get added moves to its move pool and anything like that, or at least that I noticed, so it's kind of unfortunate there, but nonetheless we're going to walk through Mega Pidgeot today and cover all the things you need to know about Mega Pidgeot. So first and foremost, let's go through the the stat increases that it got. So first of all, you'll notice that regular old Pidgeot was originally basically a physical attacker more than a special attacker, just because the physical move pool was, I believe, a little bit better. It got U-turn and got return, so I think that was a little bit working towards some better stuff. It also got Brave Bird, so it still gets those moves, but the attack stat was better. You always wanted to use him, Pidgeot, primarily as a physical attacker. So now you'll notice that the special attack actually got a huge increase, nearly doubled. Goes from 70 to 135, getting increased by 65. That is ridiculous. The speed also gets increased from 101. I always thought it was a little strange that the speed was at 101 for some particular Pokemon, Pidgeot being one of those Pokemon that's not divisible by 5. It's just it's a 101 base stat, so what can you do there? It gets increased by 20, goes to 121. You can outspeed things that have the base 120 speed, which is kind of interesting, kind of cool, but I wish Pokemon just kind of left things at a 120, divisible by 5 kind of thing. But what can you do there? Can't really complain. It's just Pokemon logic for you. The defense, special defense. The defense got increased by 5. Special defense got increased by 10. Those aren't going to come in too handy. I guess the special defense is a little nice because you can possibly live like a Thunderbolt or something like that from a weaker Pokemon. I wouldn't bank on it because a base 80 special defense is not that great still. Pretty frail Pokemon, 83 base HP, so you're not going to be living too much, so I wouldn't really be banking on living these like ice moves and things that are weak to rocks. Also, you have to be careful for stealth rocks, obviously, when you have a flying type Pokemon on your team. And so you're weak to rocks, you're weak to electric, and you're weak to one more. What was it? Ice. So you got to watch out for those moves, and we kind of incorporate move sets into some moves into the move set that kind of take away those weaknesses a little bit. So let's go ahead and look at the ability of regular old Pidgeot. And you'll notice that none of them are that great and don't really help it out too much. You have big pecs, you have keen eye, and you have tangled feet. You can really go with whatever you want here. I have no recommendations, and I apologize for that, but really I don't see any competitive use out of any of them. And if you do get a competitive use, it's going to be by sheer luck. In the comments down below, if you think that one of these abilities are better than the other ones, by all means, let me know, because I really don't see a use for any of them. Tangled Feet, if you get confused, it might be, you don't get confused, but really, honestly, you're going to want to Mega Evolve right away when you come in with this Pokemon. You're not going to want to wait around. You're going to Mega Evolve right away. There's no benefit to not Mega Evolving. It's normal flying type in both its Mega and its regular form. You get stat increases when you Mega. So and also the ability is much better on Mega Pidgeot. So here we have No Guard, and you may notice this ability. You've heard this ability before on things like Golark as well as Machamp. It's probably the most common Pokemon. And the reason why No Guard's so good on those two Pokemon is because they both get Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch is a 50% accuracy move. It hits for I think it's a base 100. I could be wrong about that. And it always confuses your opponent. So that's it's a huge benefit to the move. The move and the ability go hand in hand with one another. With Mega Pidgeot, there's not really any moves that really jump out at you that No Guard is really good with. The best move would be Hurricane, but still that's kind of like a Hydro Pump, and if you have Hydro Pump on any kind of Pokemon, you know that 70% accuracy move tends to miss a lot more than you think it should, and when it does miss, you notice it. It comes in these, bad times in the battle where you really needed to hit a Hydro Pump or 70% accuracy move. That's Hydro Pump's just a comparison, but you need the No Guard. It will allow you to not miss the move, which is definitely great. But there's other flying type moves out there that if you don't want to miss a Hurricane, you can go for those moves instead. But like Air Slash or it gets Brave Bird, which is a physical move. But as far as special moves that work with No Guard, Hurricane is going to be your best bet. It has 110 base power with stab that's hitting for 165. Quick mental math, I think it's 165. And it has a 30% chance to confuse your target. So that's kind of cool. I always like having a 30% chance to do something to your opponent. Think of Scald when you get those 30% burns. And other moves have like the 30% chance to paralyze or poison, etc., etc. Flinch is probably the most common one, like Iron Head and stuff like that. So 30% chance to do anything as a bonus to hitting for a lot of power and not being able to miss. This is going to be your go-to move, Hurricane, for sure. Before I get into the other 3 moves on this move set, I do want to cover the EV spread real quickly, and there's not going to be any surprises here. You could go for a timid Mega Pidgeot. I chose to build Modest because I think that's just better. I think it's better to get more special attack out there. You have 121 base speed, and with the investment of 252, you're at a 341 base speed, which is very good. Anything that's not Scarf is going to have trouble outspeeding. Anything that doesn't have an agility boost or some kind of rock polish, etc., is going to have a hard time outspeeding Mega Pidgeot. So you're pretty good from those standards. Also, any priority move like such as Sucker Punch or Quick Attack or anything like that, Extreme Speed, you're probably going to live a lot of priority moves because there's not really any priority moves that I can think of off the top of my head, maybe besides like Ice Shard or whatever that's called, the ice move that hits per priority. That's going to be what you want to watch out for. But besides that, there's not really any priority moves that are going to hit you for a ton of damage unless they are a very physically offensive Pokemon that hit you with a Sucker Punch or have some kind of Swords Dance up, etc. So hopefully that makes sense. But I'm just going to max out the special attack, Modest, etc. You can put 4 in the special defense if you really want to. It could also go in the defense. I don't know. Do whatever you want there. Go crazy. And yes, so let's go ahead and get on to the moveset itself. So we talked about Hurricane. It does not miss thanks to No Guard. Has a 30% chance to confuse. 165 base power with the stab. Very good move. The next move I want to talk about is Heat Wave. Now this will take care of your ice weakness. It can also hit a lot of other Pokemon. Now your grass type Pokemon, you probably want to use Hurricane against them. Bug types, Hurricane. So it kind of stinks that flying and fire type moves have very, very similar advantages over other Pokemon, but Heat Wave I still think you want to go for. I still think it's a good move to have. You can also, some things that are resistant to flying, Heat Wave can come in handy here, so I think that's probably really good there. You're not going to get stabbed, so it's going to stay at 95 power, and 90% accuracy goes away thanks to No Guard. You're hitting for 100% there, and you have a 10% chance to burn. So that's kind of cool if you want to go for the burn. Go for Heat Wave, so that's good there. The next move is Hidden Power Ground. Now, why do we have Hidden Power Ground on here? Well, we take away the ice disadvantage thanks to Heat Wave, but we still have Electric and Rock to worry about. So Hidden Power Ground takes away those 2 weaknesses very nicely. If you can predict something to come in that is weak to ground, Hidden Power Ground will do a good amount of damage. It only has 60 base power. You can go for other moves here. You can go for like a defog sub agility, but I think Hidden Power Ground is nice to have. It could catch your opponent off guard, so no pun intended. So let's go ahead and go into the 4th move here, and this is kind of controversy because I feel like Uproar is the best bet. I was looking around. There's no good special normal type moves. I wanted to have the dual stab on Mega Pidgeot, so I wanted some kind of normal type move. We already have the flying type move with Hurricane. I wanted some kind of normal type move, so maybe I said that backwards. We already have the flying type move with Hurricane, but I want some kind of normal type move, and Uproar was the best bet I got. It's essentially a little bit worse version of a Outrage. So it's a special move, hits for 90 base. With your stab, you're hitting for 135. I hope I did the math right there. And it lasts 3 turns, but you do not go confused after it ends, so that's a little bit nice. It does last for 3 turns though, so be careful using this move. Another move you can use in this spot is Roost. You can also use Agility. You can use Substitute. You can also use Hyper Beam. Now, Hyper Beam here is a little bit interesting, and we'll go ahead and show this one off. Hyper Beam, 150 base power. You're going to hit for 100% accuracy thanks to no guard. So with the stab, you're hitting above 200 base power. Now this is going to be one of your KO moves, your kind of like last resort kind of move to use when you know you're going to die, or they're on their last Pokemon. You want to get a lot of damage off before you die, etc. You don't want to use this if you don't know what they're going to come into and you're just trying to hit for the most power possible. Also, it has the chance of that, they have the chance to go into Ghost type and being completely immune to it. So I would maybe stay away from using Hyper Beam and possibly Uproar. I think I'm starting to think that Roost might be the best way to go. So you can try out different things. I haven't really tested this Pokemon out too much. It's not high tier. It's not, I don't think, the greatest Mega out there. I like the ability. It just didn't get that many moves to work with its amazing special attack and its great abilities. So you can look at the shiny here as we close things off. I don't know if they have it on here. It looks like they don't have it. I don't know what the shiny looks like. Maybe it turns pink or something. I don't think it does, but it could just slightly change a different shade, or maybe the feathers get different. I don't know. I might look that up after this video. But yeah, that essentially is Pidgeot in a nutshell, Mega Pidgeot. Probably not up there with one of my favorites, probably in the bottom 10 for me as far as Megas go, but still wanted to show everyone Mega Pidgeot because I think it does get a few interesting things. And yeah, so closing off, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys can leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. Let me know what you think about Mega Pidgeot and its cool feathers that it got. And I just rhymed there. I didn't mean it to. So I'm going to close things off, and I will see everyone next time. Peace.